Cool. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to number 3, our third session, our third, what do you call it? Third podcast, our third sit down and discussion on the Introspective podcast. I'm Jay.
I'm Ty.
And today we're going to be talking about, we're not going to be talking actually, I'm going to be interrogating this guy on the whole concept of veganism. You know, we are in Veganuary, yeah?
We are, yeah.
So we felt it was good to do something on that topic. So let's get into it, Ty. So firstly, how long have you been vegan for?
Almost a year now, probably about 10 months to be precise.
And what exactly is veganism? Or do you want to explain the idea of it?
Okay, the idea of veganism is to minimize the suffering of animals. And then as time has gone on, different factors have been put into veganism, like the environmental factors and the health side of things as well. But solely when it was created, it was just specifically for the minimizing of suffering of animals.
Okay, so how did you become a vegan?
How did I become vegan?
What was your journey?
My journey was I've always wanted to be vegan or plant-based, shall we say. The idea of eating animals never sat right with me when I was younger. So as I got older, I did try to go vegetarian for about 6 months. That was without doing any research, so I didn't know what to eat and how to get my important nutrients and so forth. So I kind of lost weight when I ended up going down with flu. So I went back to eating meat. And then as time went on, let's say early last year, I was having health issues with my stomach, and that kind of gave me the impetus to go vegan. So I just went cold turkey, and I've never looked back.
Alright, so you went cold turkey.
Yeah.
Do you recommend someone to go cold turkey though? Like in hindsight, would you have done it differently, or it was actually the best thing to do? Because I know a few people who, like you say, either went veggie or went vegan, cold turkey, and then it didn't last.
Well, different strokes for different folks, and it depends on the person. With me, because I don't really like a routine, it was best for me to just go straight into it. Do you understand? And I actually did the research beforehand, so I knew what to eat and so forth and things like that. So it depends on the person. Some people can't go to cold turkey because they say, I'm too addicted to meat and it tastes too good. So those type of people would have to go through it gradually. They will be able to just go cold turkey. But the idea of me not wanting to eat this anymore for years and years, I was able to just go to cold turkey because this is something that I wanted.
Okay. And you did the research?
Yeah, I did the research beforehand, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of very recently I've been looking into it, and I'm realizing I've been watching a few documentaries and that as well,
Yeah.
and I'm realizing there are a lot of, call it, misconceptions about the vegan lifestyle. But bear in mind, I'm still a meat eater, so
Yeah.
I'm still on that side of the fence. So I'm like, some of the questions I'm asking are just general questions that I actually want to know the answer to for myself. Yeah. Some are like what I reckon a lot of non-vegans would want to know. Yeah, like with the whole protein thing. So a lot of people feel as though like, well, you need protein.
Yeah. You
need your meat. You know what I mean? So what do you say to those people who feel as though cutting out meat is basically you losing your protein source or whatever?
That's misinformation, because to start off with, that the average man needs about 56 grams of protein daily, and a woman needs about 46 grams a day. So when it comes to protein, and keep in mind the body can only process 25 g of protein in one sitting.
Okay.
So with that being said, we have like things like soy, we have beans, which are high in protein anyway. So it's not like on a vegan diet you're not going to get protein full stop. You're going to get your protein regardless of whatever you eat. There's always a little bit of protein in anything you eat.
Okay.
But the highest foods on a vegan diet that have protein are beans, legumes, and even like mock meats use soya beans, which is probably higher than meat when it comes to protein. So you can easily get your daily amount of protein from a vegan diet.
Okay. But what about the other argument
From
of
the other argument,
natural source?
yeah. So when you're eating animals for protein, you're eating recycled protein, because the way animals get their protein is through their diet. And what kind of animals do we eat? We eat herbivores. We eat cows. We eat lamb, things like that. They're plant eaters, so they get their protein from the plants, and then we eat their corpse to get the protein from them.
So
why
basically,
not
what
just
you're
go to
saying
the
is
source?
we're getting the second hand.
You're getting second hand, third hand protein.
Okay. All right. For people who have tuned in, if there's any questions you guys have, feel free to type it, and I'll ask as well. Bear in mind, Ty's not sitting here saying he's the face of veganism and he speaks for all vegans. But yeah, if you got any questions, just let us know in it. Also, a lot of non-vegans also think feel as though, like this whole plant-based diet, yeah, like it's all good in theory when maybe, I don't know, like 20, 30 years ago, we were growing our own crops, so to speak. But nowadays, everything's so mass produced, and like, I've seen some shockers on Facebook where like even I've seen lettuce made artificially from like nothing. So a lot of people say, well, we don't even know if the fruit and veg that we're eating is coming from natural sources. So like, what's the point almost? What would you say?
Well, I'll say that's a very negative way of looking at things. Like, nothing on this planet is perfect. But when it comes to eating fruit and veg, the best you can go is either grow your own food or buy it from Whole Foods. That's the best you can get. But I see it as this. Count how many people you've heard of dying from pesticides, GMO foods, contrary to meat eaters dying of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart attacks, cancers and things like that. I'd just say weigh up the options, and what options look much better for your health. I would say it'd be Whole Foods rather than meat.
All right. Another question I got for you is I watched an interview with, I can't remember where. I'm not gonna plug anyone else's show, but I watched an interview, and the gentleman was interviewing a scientist or someone who was promoting the carnivore diet. Yeah, and it's basically saying, if you look back in history, we have been animal hunters. So we've always. So this is what they say. We were always hunting animals. Yeah. And where the hunt failed is where we would then maybe resort to eating plants and stuff like that, and seeds and fruits and that. So what do you say, or what do you feel about that?
I would say it's the other way around. We were plant eaters. We were eating nuts, seeds, fruits, veg and things like that before we started eating meat. Because if you look at our anatomy, biologically, we are not able to digest meat as we would if we were actual natural carnivores. So if you look at a carnivore's digestive system, it's totally different from our digestive system. Our digestive system was made to absorb our nutrients, so that's why we have a long intestine. Do you understand?
I've heard about that.
Even if you look at our so-called, what do they call it again? Canines. People say, "Oh, look at our canines. We're able to eat meat." Your front teeth are bigger than your so-called canines. Do you understand? So these canines are not designed to rip the flesh off of animals. We have no claws. We have a long digestive system that takes long to digest our food, so we can absorb the nutrients from the fruit and veg we eat. So biologically, we're not designed to eat meat, and we know from eating meat comes health risks like cancers, heart diseases, and so forth.
Okay. Okay. Another thing is, so me personally, if I was to be vegan, this is only me, right, guys? Just me, right? If I was personally to become vegan, it would only be from the health element. Yeah. Now I know like you mentioned in the beginning, the veganism concept was originally to minimize suffering of animals, right? Would it be selfish, or is it accepted in the vegan world as far as you know? How would you feel about someone who only went vegan from the health point of view and not the overall?
You know what? I can't speak for every vegan out there, because even in the vegan community, they have their own concept of what their veganism is. So, like I said before, so when it was created, it was solely for the purpose of minimizing the suffering of animals, because they saw them as what they are, sentient beings with the same feelings that we have. They can feel pain, suffering, and so forth. So that was the reason why it was invented. When it comes to people doing it solely for their health, it is kind of selfish, but they're still making that transition. Whether they want to do it because it's good for their health or it's good for the environment. For me personally, I'm not going to judge them and say, "Oh, you're a selfish person, you should do it for the animals, blah, blah." By default, they're minimizing the suffering of animals anyway, regardless. So me, I don't really have an issue for it. You have to remember, that was the reason why I initially transition was due to my health. Even though the ethical side of it was within me from the day dot, the health position was
the driving
force to
initially.
Yeah.
Do you think it's sustainable that someone could go vegan just for the health element and not adopt, I wouldn't say not adopt it, but maybe not be as emotionally attached to the other elements
and falling
still
off?
Do you think it's more likely you'll kind of fall off if you came into it for that reason and sustained only that reason and didn't, elevate to incorporate the other?
It's down to individual again, isn't it? Because some people, for example, are gym freaks. Once they go into a routine, that's it. It's their lifestyle. So, like, for example, health nuts, they will do it and they're so dedicated to it. This is their life now. So some people will be able to do it and stick to it. Other people that have the idea of, "Oh, I can't do it," or "Oh, I love meat too much," those kind of people with that kind of attitude will more likely be able to fall off. But I would say those kind of people, I would say, do more research on the ethical side of eating meat to actually kind of reinforce the reasons why you're going vegan.
So the sides are health, planet, and animals, in no particular order. Health, planet, or
in
animals,
veganism,
it's
animals first,
planet,
and then whatever you want to do with the last two.
Okay, so talking of planet, because some vegans that I've spoken to are very confrontational, sort of judgmental. They found this way of life and cool, they believe in it. That's, they totally committed to it. But then comes the judgment element where it feels as though, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it feels as though I'm not better than you because I live this way, but I'm a better person because the way I live my life is more beneficial to the planet. I'm not harming animals, whatever ways you are. But then my view, I always sit down and think, well, what other aspects of your life do you do things that maybe aren't so friendly to the environment, etc. I.e., I don't know, driving cars or what other things?
Going on holiday.
Yeah, going on holidays,
Taking planes,
stuff like that. So it's like, how do you look at it in the sense of, cool, I'm sure you don't live the perfect lifestyle. You do things in your day to day that are not
that harm the planet.
Harm the planet. So some will say, how can you then sit here and be saying to people to do it for these reasons when you're, on the other hand, you're doing certain things that aren't so.
For me personally, because I can't obviously
speak for you, for yourself.
If we go back to the reason why veganism was created was to minimize the suffering of animals. So if I'm going to somebody and I'm telling them about veganism, or I'm trying to get them over to my side, I would do it on the basis of animals can feel, they can suffer, they can feel pain. I'll do it from the ethical side, and then I'll back it up with the health side of it.
Okay.
When it comes to the environment, it's not really at the top of my list, because scientists say that we're in a position where it's irreversible now. It's like it's basically too late.
We've done too much damage.
We've done too much damage, basically. you can do certain things to slow the process down, but it is what it is at the moment. So when it comes to the ethical side of it, almost forgot your question.
No, just like you might do things in your life.
So when it comes to talking to somebody and then you're going back and forth and they say, oh, you do this, you do this. My angle is the animals. So I'm saying a lot of people disconnect themselves from the process of how did that meat get to your plate. So once I tell them that, look, this is an actual animal that was living, that had kids and so forth, companionship and etc. Go look at the process of how that meat got to your plate. And once they've done that, they now know, they've now made that connection. So it's their responsibility now to have some sort of conscience.
And it's interesting because I notice people love their animals. People, as in, hear me out, like even, so this is for you non-vegans out there now, I think we was talking one time. I told you, listen, I don't like pets.
You don't care for
I don't like dogs, I don't like cats. My kids want pets, I'm like, no, it's not happening. I don't like pets, full stop, right? So I don't have that same feel for the core reason why veganism started, as you're saying. But I notice a lot of people love their pets, love their cats, dogs, animals, whatever, but then don't realise that, well, an animal equivalent to your pet had to suffer for your meal. So it's just something for people to think about, because you're right, people don't connect.
They don't connect the dots, because people always have that judgment on the Asians in the Far East, how they eat dogs, and they have their festival of eating dogs and things like that. And over here in the Western world, we have uproar, we have protests and things like that. But what is it really? What's the difference between a dog, a cow, and a pig? Do you understand? They're saying that a pig is much smarter than a dog, and they're more adapted to be friends with humans than dogs are.
What, pigs?
Yeah.
Swear?
Yeah, swear. Look it up. Like the farmers' kids play with the pigs all the time, because they say that the intelligence of a pig is of a equivalent of a 3-year-old child. So they're very intelligent animals.
That's
insane. So it's all to do with speciesism, isn't it? It's the first form of discrimination that we're taught as a child. Leave the dog alone, don't eat the cat, the hamster, and guinea pig, but chicken, pigs, cows.
It's open season.
Is open season. You understand? So it's the first form of discrimination. Once you start discriminating against living sentient beings that we call animals, what's the difference of discriminating human beings just because they're a different colour to you? Do you understand? You still have that kind of mindset.
Okay.
Just because you look different.
Yeah, basically your point is once you started separating,
Yeah.
where does it stop?
Yeah,
Like, once
exactly.
you said, all right, so do you kill flies then? Like, what about flies? Do flies count?
Everything counts. You know what? It's like nothing's 100%. It's like you walking down the street, you're bound to step on a bug. Do you understand? You cannot eradicate killing some sort of living creature on this planet.
Okay.
It's just about not doing it deliberately.
Okay.
It's all about minimizing as much as you humanly can possibly to not cause harm.
So basically, you're saying that, like, from a nutritional point of view, you can eat other foods. There's other things you can eat.
Foods out there.
So, like, because you're saying about minimizing. So, cool. Once you understand that there's other things you could eat and get the same,
I'm not going to get into that.
and get the same nutritional value, and if
even
not
better,
more,
if not better.
then you realize that eating meat or eating chickens or whatever is not a necessity.
We live in 2020. We don't have the necessity to eat animals. You can make that case 200 years ago. Not even 200,000 years ago. Do you understand? It was a necessity. Like we needed to find different forms of food due to environmental impacts. So if you're stuck in the ice age and things like that, you're not going to get crops growing. You're going to have to look for something else. So for our survival, we had to eat meat.
Okay, so I kind of get you. So when you're talking
Tesco's,
ages ago,
yeah,
you're talking like, cool, winter season, you're not getting your crops. You're not getting that. So you may have to revert to eating whatever you can get, kind of thing.
Like some people in a position where, let's say they're on a desert island, they get trapped in a cave or whatever, and there's two people, one's halfway dying, the other one has to eat that person to survive. Do you understand? It's about survival. I know it's a horrible idea, but it's all about survival, isn't it?
And I think we was talking one time, you say even in pop, like, so this is how much what veganism is about, is that even in certain parts of the world, you were saying they can't get certain foods, so in that part of the world, for example, it would be allowed to eat meat or whatever. They would be allowed to eat meat in the eyes of a vegan.
Majority of the world, they're able to grow fruits fall off trees, potatoes,
places like Iceland,
seeds.
and Greenland, or like North Pole or South Pole.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Majority of the world is able to grow crops. Do you understand? The cheapest foods in the world are rice, beans, legumes, fruits, and things like that. That's the cheapest stuff in the world. But if you live in a remote area where you can't grow these things to whatever reason, droughts or nothing, you got hard ground, you can't grow anything, then you need to survive. And if killing and eating animals is your way to survive, then who are we to judge?
Okay. One other. Do you fear? Once we finish these questions, because I feel like there's a question over there that Ty's trying to run from.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that.
Well,
it's not even.
We'll see in it, because I want to see.
You can see the first word.
Oh, okay.
Leaving it alone. But yeah.
All right. So, Elvis.
Thanks for your comment, though.
Elvis, that for Ty to answer that question, we're gonna go into
we're gonna go off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, come on, Elvis. He knows you, right? You know what you're about.
Yeah, he does, and he's just trying to draw me out.
Okay. Cause but all right,
that's
cool.
Funny.
Guys, just so you know, for those that aren't in the loop, it was a religious-based question. It was a question which started with in Genesis, which is the Bible. Yeah. If any of you know Ty, we're not gonna go there because
we're not gonna go there.
It's gonna go somewhere else with answering that question. So all other questions are welcome, though. Yeah, but Elvis, sorry man, we might have to part that.
Yeah, we're not gonna read your question out, Elvis. Sorry, that's going off topic. Because you're basically saying that God is okay with suffering and causing pain to animals. That's okay.
No, you can't do that, Ty. You can't partially answer it or and not say the whole question.
He knows what he's doing.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
So just leave it.
I'm leaving it.
Alright,
leaving it.
Fine.
I'm tempted. I'm itching, but yeah. Continue.
If you want to answer
it's
it.
okay. It's okay. Continue.
Now you can, if you want,
Honestly,
you can answer it and then we can follow up.
Nah, because we're gonna go way off topic. This is not religious debate.
Alright, cool.
Let's keep it down to veganism. Let's talk about health. Let's talk about where's it at?
Alright, let's cool. Do you fear veganism becoming like a fad, and as a result it losing some of its important message? And maybe is that a good thing if it becomes a fad, because it means more people take it up? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand your question.
Because it's kind of a gift and a curse when you want people to buy into something, but then at the same time you don't want it to. So would you?
You know what? Anything and everything can be commercialized, isn't it? And veganism is being commercialized, and the way it's been pushed out by the powers that be, industries and so forth, is due to the environmental impacts that it has. So people are saying go vegan due to climate change and things like that. Like, it's not mentioning the suffering of animals. So it is kind of losing its meaning, its original meaning. But if people can go vegan and stick to it and make it their lifestyle, then so be it. By default, like I said, by default, they're still saving animals. But the idea of it just being solely about the environmental impacts, it's not really the actual cause of why it was created. But
I hear what you're saying, but the risk is also that people take to it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
and not to say the environmental reason is wrong, because it's still right.
Yeah, it's still right.
But people take to it for the wrong quote unquote wrong reasons. Through generations, the message becomes diluted, and then
20 years time it'll just be veganism was about the environment.
You get what I'm saying? So
I understand, yeah, but we have no control over that. All we can do is kind of continue to keep drumming into people's head that veganism was about minimizing the suffering as much as possible to animals. We can just continue to keep that message out. Hopefully people realize that.
Alright, so you're what level nutritionist?
I am a plant-based nutritionist, level 3.
Cool. So with your expertise and knowledge, being very honest though, what don't you get? Like, what is a red flag? What do you have to be careful of, nutritionally, vitamin wise, with going on to the plant-based diet? Like, is there, how can I say it? Like, is there a particular vitamin or whatever that in your studies is very rare amongst most things that we would eat as a vegan, and therefore you may need this to what is that?
Before I answer that question, I would say that when it comes to deficiencies, there's more deficient meat eaters than there is in vegans. That's absolute facts. The people I come across are iron deficient, they got anemia and things like that. They're vitamin D deficient, they're vitamin B12, B6, B9 deficient, and these are meat eaters for the whole life they've been eating meat. I've never come across a vegan that's deficient in anything, and that's just weird.
Wait, you've never come across a vegan who's deficient in anything?
In anything so far. I might come across more vegans that are probably deficient in something, but as it stands now, everyone that comes to me is deficient in something, and they've been meat eaters all their life. So that's why I said when it comes to eating meat, you're getting recycled protein, you're getting recycled minerals, you're getting recycled vitamins.
That's cool, but you don't have vegans coming to you though. Do you have vegans
not coming to me, but I'm saying vegans that I know
Okay.
Not coming to me, but vegans that I know
Okay.
are not really deficient in anything. But going back to your question, when you're transitioning, I would say that B12 is probably the major point when it
Okay.
comes to transitioning. If you're not B12 deficient anyway, you need to either take a supplement or you can eat sea veg. Like seaweed is high in B12.
Seaweed.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you don't get in Chinese shops seaweed.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can get
yeah.
anywhere. That's high in B12. Fortified milks have B12 in it. Fortified orange juice has B12 in it, so you can get your B12 regardless. I wouldn't say iron because so many green leafy veg is high in iron. So I would say you'll get your iron regardless if you're eating what's it called? Vitamin D. If you're not exposed to the sun that much, especially living over here, and you work 9 to 5 in a friggin' winter, going to work, you're not really getting no sun. Going home, you're not really getting sun. I would say eat mushrooms, not the white mushrooms, the brown mushrooms. Like portobello mushrooms are high in D12 and things like that. So yeah, I would say D12, vitamin D, B12 are probably the most difficult to get in a vegan diet, but it's not impossible.
And from your point of view, what do you feel? How do you feel about supplement tablets? Like, or are you not about that life either? In terms of like Holland and Barrett, going to Holland and Barrett, buying these B12 tablets.
Not really, because we know that a lot of people are saying, "Oh, when it comes to Holland and Barrett's, their supplements are fake. You're not really getting much out of it. Once it's laboratories produced, you're not really getting much out of it, to be honest. But I'm saying you don't really need to supplement that much. If you're going to supplement anything, I would advise you to supplement a B12. And it's as easy as just having a spray 4 times a day in your mouth.
Okay, to get your B12.
To get your B12. Or, if you don't want to do that, if you don't any supplements at all, don't wash your veg as thoroughly as you would. Because you have to remember, B12 is not even a vitamin. B12 is it's a organism, it's a bacteria that's found in the soil.
Yeah.
So if you don't wash your veg that good, you'll get your B12. But like I said, you can get your B12 from fortified milks, like plant milks.
Okay.
So it's not that difficult. But if you want to be safe, get a spray, B12 spray. It's not that difficult.
There was another question I had for you, which was about soy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think this is something came up on Facebook, which was basically criticizing.
He's basically Elvis is saying that you agree with me, but you're not vegan. You're still a meat eater.
Yeah, I'm a meat eater, but what? Okay, let me address that. Okay, so I'm a meat eater who is currently opening his mind up to the potential of being vegan, or at least trying it out. So one thing I try not to be with too many things in my life is closed-minded. I'm not gonna lie, there are things that I am closed-minded with, because it's just, for me, it will be a distraction. So I'm not gonna entertain it. But anything that involves my health, I will stop and listen and maybe take note and see how I can implement it. And in my research so far, I have discovered a lot of things which has opened my mind even more to the idea of being vegan, and which is why initially, to be honest, which is why some of my questions towards Ty was about just purely turning to veganism from a health point of view, because at the moment that's the only part of it which it connects with me, which makes me feel some kind of emotion. Do you get what I'm saying? So so Elvis, I'm not necessarily agreeing with Ty, but I'm not disagreeing. But yeah, so on to my other question, which was about soy. And there is something that says they use bees in producing soy or something. I was talking to you about this the other day, which
Are you talking about
the-
crop death?
that's the thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that's how do you feel about that in the sense of there's still some kind of use or suffering of bees.
No, it's not bees.
Sorry, not
Crop death as in rodents,
yeah.
insects that would eat crops.
No, but no. I need to research this. Answer that one though.
Yeah.
But I need to check this out.
When it comes to crop death, it's about these industries that grow these foods. They have to wipe out basically everything that will potentially eat the crops, eating their profit in it. So they kill off all the rodents, they kill off all the insects and so forth. So this is the argument meat eaters have, say, oh, look how many animals you lot kill, blah, blah, blah. But we're like, okay, if we're talking about the amount of animals we kill, let's talk about the amount of animals meat eaters kill. And then we will say that animals that die due to us eating meat is 1 trillion a year. That includes marine life as well. So when you're talking about marine life, when they throw the big ass nets inside the sea, they pull everything out of the sea, even things that they don't want to eat. So dolphins, whales, and so forth get caught up in the nets. Then we're talking about land animals. Like 60 billion land animals get eaten every year. So that's kind of like, when we're looking at percentages now, it's like 0.1 of animals get killed when we're growing crops compared to the amount of animals that get killed for us to consume.
Okay, so is there specifically? Okay, so let me read the thing about the soybeans. Yeah. So soybeans are one of the most widely farmed and produced crops throughout North America and the world. Although honeybees are not essential to soybean production, they commonly visit soybean fields for forage, and studies show that the pollination results in increased soybean yield.
You can stop there.
Yeah.
When it comes to soybeans, 95% of the soybeans that are grown are used to feed livestock.
Okay.
Fact. So if we stop eating meat, we only need that 5% of that to feed the population on the planet. You remember, these animals that we eat take up loads of water, loads of food, just to sustain them, so we can get a small part of their flesh. So that kind of thing is.
And this is
stable.
the environmental element that you're talking about. So, yeah. Sorry, just recap on that for people, because I didn't know this. And you know when you. You remember when you first told me you was vegan, whatever, and I used to cuss you, oh yeah, but you're still killing plants though. You're eating plants. Plants live and whatever. So, but I never actually. I'm gonna hold my hand up. I never knew the environmental damage that being a meat eater causes is more than what I thought being a plant eater would be in it, because you're eating the plants, so like we need the plants to breathe and stuff like that. So if you're gonna eat them, then you're doing the damage. But yeah, just recap on what actually goes into feeding these beasts or whatever. Go on, sorry.
So how more in depth can I go into it? Yeah, so they take up like 75% of landmass to wipe out to grow crops. So that's why the rainforest, the Brazilian rainforest, Amazon rainforest, is basically at its bare bones, because they need to wipe it out.
So they actually use that. They use that. What, the space?
They use the space. They chop the trees down
to use
the lungs of the planet. They chop all that down just to farm the animals.
Okay.
Because the demand is so high, they need shitloads of space, basically.
Oh, that's mad. That is mad.
So that's why the environmental reason why people want to go vegan is so big. That's why people are doing it, because these animals take up so much room so much water, so much food. It's unsustainable.
Okay, just for us to feed on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going to the plants. Like, oh, you're killing plants. Plants are not sentient. They have no conscious of their own experience. They have no nervous system. They only live by stimuli. So you can stimulate them by touching them, they'll move and things like that. Stimulation is not like they can feel. They feel, they have no consciousness.
Okay. And that's a big thing for vegans when it comes to, because that's your whole point about protecting animals.
Yeah.
Because they all have
their own experience.
Okay. All right, should we get into...
We can get into the questions. I don't think I've really got any questions on mine that I'm willing to...
Why not?
It was just one from that main man Elvis.
Okay, so got a question here.
And then I'll read out theirs as well. Go on.
Cool, I got a question here from my mate Gaz. Hey Gaz, thanks for tuning in, bruv. Are you also ensuring that you're not buying clothes made from animals, e.g. leather?
I don't own anything that's leather.
Okay. So do you proactively
I've never,
don't, or you just...
I just never bought anything that's leather because one, it's expensive, and two, it's not really my thing. Everything's fake, innit?
Nah, I can't remember what the seats in your car is. I need to check it out.
That's true.
Is it leather?
I don't know. It could be what's that fake leather called?
Yeah, but
only cars.
That's not good
like
enough.
Expensive cars have leather. Like,
well, no, but that's
innit?
not good enough, Ty. Because
I'm saying.
If you're so about that life, that should have been your like when you saw those seats. You should be like, I hope you should know that that's not leather.
No, it should be the fake leather. No, the fake.
But what I'm saying is, when you went to get the car,
yeah,
you should be ensuring that, listen, this the fake leather, right? This ain't the real shit, yeah?
Yeah.
And if the man says, nah, it's the real shit, then you're not about that life. You're walking off. So this is just some of the points that I'm trying to make regarding the whole vegan, the criticism towards vegans.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it don't override.
No, not at all. But you have to remember, it's not about perfection. So some things, once you know, you should do better. So if you're in the state of ignorance about something, you're exempt from being criticised about it.
Of course.
But once you know, then therefore you should do better.
I get that.
So when it comes to, I drive a car, which is not great on the environment.
Yeah.
But like I said, veganism is about minimising the suffering as much as humanly possible. Do you understand? So when it comes,
but then you have a choice not to drive a car.
I do.
I know. So why don't you choose not to?
Because I choose not to, because it's my choice.
I hear that, but then that will be some people's argument to why they don't.
But like I said before, veganism is not about environmental impacts.
Yeah, it's a three-pronged attack, though, isn't it? In the sense of it, it's kind of all three.
No,
but I know what you mean. The fundamental was
it's
the
okay.
animal element.
When you talk about fundamental, and then you're talking about things that have been seep into veganism, that's not veganism.
All right,
veganism solely was a purpose
so
of
let me get
animals.
So
But
I just want
environment and health are bonuses.
Cool. So I just want clarity. So are you saying you particularly, no one watching this should criticize you or judge you on anything other than
I'm
I'm
not infallible. I'm there to be criticized. But those without seeing cast the first stone.
But that's what people say to you, like. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't criticize people. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not a spokesman for
cool.
veganism.
All right, cool.
So I don't go around
that's
criticizing people.
I'm glad you said that, because
exactly.
that saves you, because otherwise.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, okay, cool. Let me ignore you for a second then, and vegans in general.
That's got nothing to do with me.
All right.
Yeah. That's just like you saying black people are like this. I don't speak for every black person out there, and the things that black people do, it's not on me.
All right. Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
I can only speak from my perspective.
All right. Boy, man, gotta get out of jail card on that one still. Is it healthy for children to be raised vegan? Nick, what are you saying, Nick?
It is. If you look at all the top health organizations in the world, this is peer-reviewed work. They say that veganism is healthy for all stages of life. So, as an elderly person, as a baby, and for pregnant women, across the board, it's healthy.
Okay. Sorry, science backs that up.
Science backs this up.
Okay.
All the World Health Organizations say this. If you can get all your vitamins, minerals within a vegan diet, why wouldn't it be?
That's my boy. Gavin Gripper. Nah. You know what? It's not. Yeah, he hasn't got a question. He says something which I don't know if I fully agree with that though. Where
What do you say?
you know, like vegans got this point where they say, "Oh, you say it too."
Lizzie Cod's funny.
Oh, the biggest, baddest, strongest animals on the planet don't eat meat. Yeah. But I don't know, like that.
What's wrong with that? They say the oldest, the biggest, and the strongest are herbivores.
Yeah. Wow. I need to think about that one because
Name them the biggest land.
No, I know. Like you got gorillas.
Yeah, gorillas. Yeah, you said that gorillas are vegan, and if you look at gorillas' canines, they're longer than ours, but they eat nuts, grains, seeds, fruits, and they're like as strong as 10, 20 men put together. Then you look at the elephant. The elephant is a herbivore as well. It's the biggest land animal on the planet. The oldest land animal known to us is a tortoise. They have a herbivore. So your friend's absolutely right.
No, I need to get my thoughts on that one, but
why? What's the
no? Because I had a point I wanted to make, but I can't remember it right now.
Go ahead.
But go on. Have you got anything on that side? Or?
I got a lot of emojis from Lizzie Cod putting up pig pictures. Where else is that? This basically meat emoji. She's funny, but yeah. I've got one from Shakira. She says vegan meals take less time to prepare. Meat can take hours, and you're left with virtually no vitamins and no minerals to talk about. That's very true. So when you're cooking your foods, you're basically depleting the vitamins and minerals within that. It's very time consuming as well when you're a meat eater. It could take hours and hours just to cook meat. Where with a vegan diet, it can be done in 10, 20 minutes. Just give it a quick steam, quick fry, and you're good to go. Okay. And you're not having any impact on the vitamins and minerals that you're going to get from it.
Cool. Gaz again. Gaz is a joke. I'm not gonna read that comment. That's because this goes back to when me and him used to work together. It's a joke.
Okay.
Let me see if I got anything on this side.
Like we said, guys, if you got any questions, post your questions up.
Nick's a G man. Nick's all over the place, bruv. Is a vegan lifestyle expensive to maintain?
No, because like I said before, when it comes to foods, the cheapest foods on the planet are fruits, veg, nuts, seeds, things like that, legumes. But when you want to get fancy, and you want to get the mock meats, like your tempeh, your seitan, your soy, then those things will be expensive. But if you just live on a whole food diet, then it's cheap.
You kind of covered what part of one of the questions I had, but as a result, I didn't ask it in its entirety, but I did. Also, so my question was, do you fear it becoming commercialized, which you sort of touched on, and as a result, the powers that be mass producing products, which then take away its purity? Do you fear that? And
it's happening now, because you got the Beyond Burger, you got the meatless burgers and things like that. Me personally, they're not as healthy as it would be if you just ate them in their natural form, which would be a lot of time they use mushrooms for these mock meats. but obviously they got additives and all sorts kind of things.
See,
innit?
then this
So-
this kind of makes life a bit more hard, complicated for
Not really, because like I said before, if you want to live a lavish vegan life, you're gonna eat these mock stuff. But if you just want to just live healthy, then stay with the whole foods. It's when you want to treat yourself, then you buy the Beyond Burgers and things like that. But you don't have to eat these things, and you can even make these things at home as well.
That's true, but a lot of people want to make that transition. If and when they want to make that transition, want to kind of replicate the lifestyle they had prior.
Yeah, but you
so
can,
that's
like
where
I'm
they
saying,
use these foods to.
like I'm saying, you can do these things at home. It's all about texture. A lot of the time when people say, "Oh, it's the taste and the texture," you could, like I said, mushrooms is probably the closest texture to meat, and soy. You can get soya chunks that actually have the texture of meat, and some mushrooms have the texture of meat.
What about that corn stuff?
Corn is basically mold from soy, so I don't f with
Not that corn. Mold. Did you say mold? Yeah.
yeah, it's mold.
Alright, leave that alone.
It's a form of mold from the soil. But like I said, if you want to live a basic life which can still be enjoyable, because I enjoy cooking and eating vegan foods, I use whole foods. Once in a while, I'll add a mock meat into it. But even the mock meats will be more healthy than actual meat itself.
Okay. So you kind of answered this, but why do vegans have to take extra vitamins? I don't think they do. Your answer is they don't. It's
don't.
a misconception.
That's a misconception. That's misinformation, because there's more meat eaters on supplements than there's on the vegan diet. Like I said, the people that come to me for nutrition are anemic, vitamin D deficient, vitamin B12 deficient, vitamin B6, B9 deficient, and these are people that have been on meat all their life.
Okay, purely from a health point of view, not the environment and not the other element of veganism, the core reason that
Quality reason.
yeah. But what do you think of the pescatarian
eating
pescatarian
fish?
way of living, pescatarian diet?
So-
Where does that
so-
where does that? What's the flaw? Take away.
Oh, so take away the quality. And
Yeah.
and the
That's what I'm saying.
environment.
Take away the cruelty and the environment. What's the flaw in that?
So basically, leave it to health.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why the
Pescatarian.
pescatarian diet is not.
The what?
I can't even say it today. I'm so tired. It's not as healthy. It's not that healthy. Is because seafood is high in mercury. That's one, and a lot of people kind of substitute not eating meat to eating fish, so they double up on the fish to compensate for the meat they're not eating. So they're getting a double dose of mercury. Plus, our seas are not clean anymore. The amount of pollution within the sea, these sea animals are eating that, and then you're eating that from them, so from their body. So once again, it's not healthy. Yeah, remember, every animal you eat, you're eating their trash they eat.
Okay. There's a question here from Gaz, which is kind of aimed at me, so I feel I should answer it. A serious question: what will stop you from trying a vegan diet?
You have tried it.
No. Let me be honest. I haven't tried it.
Oh,
I've
you're
tried
tempted
meals.
to.
No. I've tried meals. So far, where I'm at, Gaz, is when I now walk into a shop, especially if I'm doing a fast food thing, yeah. I'm looking at the menu, and where I see vegan, I go for it. So the other day I went into Wenzel's for my meal break, and I sent you the video in it. Everything vegan in there I picked. So I think I picked up a vegan roll, which had the vegan cheese. I picked up a vegan sausage roll and a vegan patty. So I'm basically trying anything that's vegan, I eat it, but I'm not exclusively a vegan, and I'm not anyway, and I'm not how can I say, I wouldn't even say I'm vegan. I'm not vegan. I try vegan meals here and there.
You know what would be more suitable word for you to use, because you don't care. I don't want to use the word care, but if I'm correct using that
You
word,
can use it.
okay, because you don't care about animals,
Yeah.
point blank, then use plant-based.
All right.
diet.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. So yeah.
because using the word vegan, people want to get at you. Like, they will get at me because
Listen, I don't care if they let them come at. Listen, come at me, dog. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Nah. But
keep it up though.
all right,
Like,
cool.
Use plant-based diet.
Plant-based.
People are more comfortable hearing that than hearing vegan, because once you hear vegan, people hear activists and judgmental and all that kind of stuff. So
that's what I was trying to say to you.
Yeah,
but yeah, you don't speak for vegan. So.
No, I don't.
But nah, and I was saying it to my boys yesterday that I actually noticed that the way I feel after those meals, well, not meal, but after eating those things, are way different from if I had got the meat equivalent. So, like, I know how I feel after I have a beef patty. I know how I feel after. Well, I don't eat sausage roll because I don't do the pork stuff. I only got the vegan sausage roll because it was vegan, like plant based. But other than that, I don't do. I know how I feel after certain foods, and I kind of do feel there's an element of tiredness, lethargic, sleepy, kind of. Whereas after those things that I ate, and I don't feel that way. So I mean, I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm not agreeing 100% with Ty.
On what?
No, on the whole 9. Like, I'm not saying I'm all in yet. But
the
point I'm trying... No, because I have to try it for myself. That's the point.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, within our conversation, what have you disagreed with?
No, I haven't disagreed with anything. But what I'm trying to say is, in terms of me experiencing... You know, like
it for yourself.
Yeah, I have to experience it for myself before I can 100%.
Yeah.
But I would say the only time I ever felt the way I felt after eating plant-based meals is when I first started working out, and I started reducing my carb intake. I didn't know. I did the usual thing that everyone that starts working out and wants to lose weight does, which is you feel like you have to cut out carbs and all of this stuff, and that's what I did initially. And I upped the protein, I reduced the carbs and all of that stuff, and I made a mistake. But I must admit, those days I also felt fully awake after eating. I didn't feel the lethargicness that I felt.
Well, up in your protein and low in your carbs.
Yeah, when I first started, because
depends what carbs you were eating.
It's what it was. What do you mean that I cut out?
Yeah.
Sorry, no. So I went solely. I went
Or
exclusively to sweet potato.
Okay.
So I used to have a lot of sweet potatoes. This Son don't like vegans, man.
Okay. I love this stuff, bro. It's your vitamin D.
But yeah. So like I want to give this time, because I feel as though with anything you change in your body when you start eating a different way, I feel as though your body does kind of have an initial positive reaction to.
You know what? It depends on the person as well, because I was taught when you make that transition, there are symptoms you might get.
Negative symptoms.
Negative symptoms you might get when you're coming off meat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you end up having acne. You might end up being emotional. Like, your emotions will be up and down. You might have stomach issues. There's so many things that.
Why would that happen? Why would that happen? Is that your body?
That's your body. Yeah, your body now saying, "Thanks for stop poisoning me," but it's gonna take a while for it to balance and
that doesn't sound like thank you to me, fam.
Well, you're gonna have side effects, isn't it? Now you're stopping all the toxins. Now it's working overtime to get rid of these toxins, and replenish itself.
I get you. I get you.
Understand? You have to remember, when you're eating food, you're eating the hormones of that animal as well. So that's why your hormones will be up and down. Because you're getting rid of the hormones now, and now your real hormones are gonna come back into play. Oh, you came off.
Yeah, just cut out.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But not everybody gets those symptoms, innit?
Okay. Now that sounds well. That's interesting because you know the video I sent you the other day with that guy when he was talking about how he felt after his run.
Yeah.
He was saying how
But wasn't he?
he was criticizing how he felt after doing the keto diet, and he was saying he was dissing it for saying that when he went on it, he was feeling all of these bad feelings, some of the stuff you've mentioned.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't believe that anything that is meant to be good for your body like that will have you feeling that way. So it's interesting you saying that when you first start.
Yeah, your body needs to adapt, isn't it? Because it's been feeding a certain way. It's gonna react to not getting that anymore. Do you understand? It's gonna break out. It's gonna wild out until you get balanced again. Cool.
Well, I lost all the other questions now because this thing kicked me out.
Oh, you got no questions on your Facebook Live, guys. There's 3 people watching at the moment. If you've got any questions, please ask. Hi, Kai. I'm sure Kai's got some questions.
Vegan restaurants are good pop-up shops. Vegan restaurants are good. Pop-up shops are good for the experience, but it will take time for a worldly adjustment.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But again, I can't help feeling though, bro. Like honestly, I can't help feeling that. And this is my other way of thinking about these things is that, and I think I was saying this to you the other day. Balance is required, and I mean it in the sense of, if everyone goes vegan or 90% of the world turn vegan or whatever, then I feel as though, although I don't know it and I don't know what it would be, I feel as though there will be some kind of negative effect, be it on the planet, be it on, I don't know, but I just feel as though nothing in this world is all about being everything one way. And don't get me wrong, I accept that we have a long way to go for that situation to arise or whatever, but I can't help feeling the more people that become vegan, the more the powers that be gonna want to make money off of it, and then it's just not going to be about the stuff that it currently is about. And that's not to say it should be, for that reason it should stay, like small, but I don't know.
Can you think of any negative impacts it will have? Because what we're doing now is not sustainable.
Of course. Well, yeah, it's not.
And if you look at statistics and the research, a vegan lifestyle is sustainable for the planet. So that means the predators, like you were saying before earlier during the week, the predators like wolves and foxes and things like that keep everything balanced. So certain
keep nature,
it keeps nature in balance. So a lot of the predators are getting killed off, so they can deforest areas to produce livestock. So the ecosystem is unbalanced. So once we stop eating meat, forests can replenish. These predators can now come back into existence. More trees can grow. So the natural order of things will get back into balance. So it will be balance. So like I said, it's about necessity as well. Not everybody on the planet can have a plant-based diet. Do you understand? Because not the whole planet is not the same. But if the majority of the world went there, then we'll get the balance back. But obviously there's going to be people in remote areas of the world that need to eat animals. And we're not going to judge them for that.
Paleo, I don't know about this diet. I've heard about this diet, but I don't know about it. Do you know about the paleo diet?
Yeah, primal men diet basically.
I don't know. It's just a question. So paleo is a better place to start to wean yourself off the food norms.
I know you can use paleo for vegans out there and so forth. Just quickly Google paleo. Okay, I forgot from the top of my head. Shakira Amma said, "Well done, keep it up." That's to you when you were mentioning you're trying to eat more plant-based foods.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and just to
yeah, go on.
just to elaborate on why Gaz's question as to why what would stop me from trying it. Again, it would be anything I say is going to sound like an excuse, right? In the eyes of people who have already done it, because
I don't get it because you are trying.
no, I know, but I mean, like doing a whole day
Yeah.
would be a challenge because my missus isn't. We've also very briefly talked about it in the house, even with the kids.
Yeah.
We've sort of like brought it up, and one of my daughters is like, yeah, she wants to do it. But I feel like she wants to do it because she sees a lot of celebrities
Doing it,
doing it. So she wants,
Influencers,
So she wants to do it for that reason. But hey, again, doesn't matter what
by default.
But everyone else in the house is like, no.
Do this. You cook one meal. So cook dinner, a plant-based dinner in the house. One meal, that's it. And see how they like it. That's what you have to do, one meal.
Okay.
Because you have to remember, during the day, you're at work, Mrs. at work, kids at school, everyone comes home, it'll be one meal, you lot share. Cook that one meal that's plant-based and see how they like it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna die by eating a plant-based meal.
We'll see about that. But the whole point is that at some point, the family will have to transition over. If it ever got to that stage. And
but we're not at that stage yet, so just try it just to see how it turns out and see what their opinions are about it.
Alright,
just
cool.
to get the feedback, that's all. Yeah, remember, it's all about planting the seed. Like I've been planting seeds in your heads.
You ain't
different.
been planting nothing in my head, bruv. That's a shame.
Let's not put the list down now. Let's get this. But it's just like, you're open-minded person, isn't it? And I'm sure that your household is open-minded as well, due to you being in the house. So I'm just speaking from what I see from you. So just try one meal and see how it goes from there. One meal's not going to kill you.
Alright, so paleo-friendly foods include meat, fish, eggs, seeds, nuts, fruits, and veggies. Now, that can't be. That's not something that a vegan would do.
What's that? Where was you reading?
So what do you eat on a paleo diet?
No, because it says it includes meat, fish, eggs, and everything. What's different from that?
I know.
Avoid processed foods. Basically, so paleo means avoid
Processed
foods.
Yeah, but you're still eating.
You're still eating meat.
Yeah, Nick. Not sure about that.
You're still getting the negative impact of eating flesh. So
yeah, so basically, yeah, Nick. So
and eggs,
Nick, the point
which
is
worse than meat itself.
The point is meat is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
animal products is the issue.
Animal products is the problem.
Yeah.
When it comes to a vegan lifestyle or plant-based lifestyle, you don't want nothing animal-based.
Or living the best healthy life possible is avoiding animal products.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You get that? So, but yeah, don't know if there's anything else to...
Yeah, another comment says... Tell us where you shop for food. If people want to know where I shop for food, inbox me, DM me, and I will let those people know. I don't have that information on the top of my dome at this moment. Next one is, it will be positive. What? Positive people would be less aggressive. That's true. Because the whole process of eating animals is aggressive and violent,
Mm.
thus making people aggressive and violent themselves. Plus, when you're eating meat, you're eating the hormones of that animal as well. So the hormones are imbalanced, so you're going to be naturally aggressive.
Yeah, but
as
I
well.
don't know if you can measure that.
Precisely.
I don't know if you can measure the fact that this person eats meat is what makes them aggressive.
No, I'm
or
saying the whole
whatever.
act of eating meat is aggressive.
Oh, okay,
You
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
And-
but
And just like when when they say you shouldn't feed a dog like raw meat because the blood will make them aggressive.
okay,
That's the same with human beings as well. And you can't get rid of the blood cells within the meat itself. You can wash the meat out, but the cells within the flesh itself is still there.
okay.
So you're still getting it. So it does make people aggressive. The whole idea, the whole process of eating animals is aggressive, and it's violence on your plate, basically.
But do you not think there could be so many other factors in that person's life that
I'm not saying that's the sole only factor in that person's life.
but this is why I say
Just one of the factors.
you can't. It's not measurable. You can't measure that.
You can.
You can't measure it. How can you
You
measure
can
it?
only go by experience.
Unless you're taking with the same individual who's had the same issues in their life,
Yeah.
and you give them a meat-based diet for.
Well, one example would be, you might say that he's still aggressive, but that guy, I don't want to say his name, that activist, that vegan activist you were telling me about.
I don't even know his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I know his name, but I'm not gonna put his name out there. But
Cool.
when he was a gangbanger, he was a violent person, and then he changed his lifestyle when he went vegan. He said he felt less aggressive, obviously because he's now compassionate about animals. He's compassionate about life itself. So it
Yeah,
made
but
him
he
less
also
aggressive.
changed because he got locked up because he was in prison.
Yeah, this was before he turned vegan.
What do you mean? So, are you saying he?
This guy, he hasn't been vegan his whole life. But I'm saying before he turned vegan,
He was aggressive.
he was violent, aggressive. He went to jail. He's overweight.
But what I'm trying to say is that his change
Yeah,
of outlook
yeah.
could have been because he ended up going prison. Because he was actually in prison when he realized he needed to change something, or he needed to change.
Yeah, and that change was him going vegan. If you looked his stories,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I watched loads of his videos.
It was, but okay, cool. Anyway.
Start arguing, boy. Just come on. I don't have anything else.
Well, regarding the tell them where you shop, so just
Yeah,
so
like
you
I
don't
said.
know, like inbox Ty, because like we mentioned earlier,
I'm a plant-based nutritionist. So if you want to transition or cut down on meat, get in contact, and we can take it from there.
how do they get in contact?
You can contact me on my Facebook. It's Ty Morrison, so that's TY space MORRISON. Or you can contact me on my Instagram, which is Ty's Purpose, which is TYS_purpose. What else? Yeah, just some of those things there. Email. My email is Be the Change. So all the E's are threes. So that's B3 TH3 CHANG3.com.
At what.com, bro? Be the change
At Google. At Google.com.
Gmail.
So
be the change at gmail.com. So
Yeah.
all the E's are threes.
that rhymes.
If you want to get in contact. But yeah, so guys, thanks for tuning in. Had a lot of engagement today. Thanks, special thanks to people like Nick, people like Gaz, who sent in quite a few questions.
Did you get through all questions?
I got through all the questions on here, but I lost some of the questions on Insta Live because it cut out. But yeah, thanks for everyone though that tuned in, that watched. And yeah, we want to try and do these once a month minimum. I say minimum once a month. Hopefully more. But yeah, guys, for those of you who are on my Facebook, who are on Ty's Facebook, etc., send us in topics that you want us to discuss. Get the camera. Just send in, just let us know what stuff you want us to talk about, and we'll do our best to cover those topics. A lot of these stuff are just how we feel about things. Ty's very thorough, so especially when it comes to health. So a lot of his stuff is research prior to talking about it. Me, I just wing it in it. No, I'm joking. But yeah,
sometimes it's best that way.
Let us know. Let us know what you want us to cover, and we will.
We might actually, before you stop it, we might do this a bit later on the day, because I noticed that as time went on, more people joined.
Yeah.
So like you got a person that just joined now, and before that as well, and I got quite a few people joining once they hit afternoon time. So if it's possible, we'll try to do this a bit later.
Yeah. But yeah, once again, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introspective podcast. Peace.